Can sins physically mark your brain? Do our actions, especially the ones we regret, leave tangible traces on our very being? It's a question that has intrigued theologians and scientists alike for centuries. Welcome, thinkers, to a journey into the fascinating intersection of science and spirituality. We're about to dive deep into the human brain and the profound impact of our choices. Get ready to explore the concept of sin and its potential effects from two distinct yet complementary perspectives, the scientific and the Islamic. We'll unravel the mysteries of habit formation, exploring how repeated actions, good or bad, can actually reshape the intricate neural pathways of our brains. But we won't stop there. We'll also delve into the rich tapestry of Islamic metaphors, uncovering how religious texts depict the impact of sins on our hearts and minds. Our brains are incredibly dynamic. Unlike a computer with fixed hardware, the brain possesses a remarkable ability to adapt and change throughout our lives. This phenomenon, known as neuroplasticity, is the foundation of learning, memory, and even our responses to experiences. Every time we engage in a new activity, think a thought, or experience an emotion, our brain's intricate network of neurons responds by forming new connections or strengthening existing ones. Imagine a bustling city with countless pathways and intersections. That's a simplified way to envision the complex landscape of your brain. The pathways are formed by neurons, specialized cells that transmit information through electrical and chemical signals. At the junctions between these neurons, called synapses, signals jump from one neuron to another, allowing different parts of the brain to communicate. The more frequently a specific pathway is activated, the stronger the connections at the synapses become. This is akin to paving a dirt road into a superhighway. The more you travel a particular route, the smoother and more efficient the journey. Now let's consider the implications of this for our habits, both positive and negative. When we repeatedly engage in a behavior, whether it's practicing kindness, nurturing a hobby, or unfortunately indulging in harmful actions, we are essentially carving out specific pathways in our brains. This means that every choice we make, every action we take, has the potential to shape the very structure of our brains, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and future behaviors. In Islamic teachings, the concept of sin transcends mere physical actions. It delves into the realm of the heart, the very core of our being. The Arabic word for heart, qalb, signifies more than just the organ that pumps blood. It represents the seat of our emotions, intentions, and spiritual understanding. It is the compass guiding our thoughts, words, and deeds. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, emphasizes the profound connection between our hearts and our actions. It states, "Have they not traveled through the land and seen what was the end of those before them? They were greater than them in power, and they plowed the earth and built upon it more than they have built, and their messengers came to them with clear proofs. It was not Allah who wronged them, but it was they who wronged themselves." Quran 39. Islamic tradition often uses powerful metaphors to illustrate the impact of sins on our spiritual state. One such metaphor likens our hearts to pristine scrolls upon which our deeds, both good and bad, leave their mark. Imagine a beautiful blank scroll, representing the purity of our innate nature. As we journey through life, our choices, like strokes of ink, begin to fill the scroll. Acts of kindness, compassion, and worship leave behind beautiful, fragrant inscriptions, illuminating the scroll with radiant light. Sins, on the other hand, leave behind dark, unsightly blemishes, obscuring the scroll's original purity. Another compelling metaphor depicts sins as heavy burdens that we carry with us. Each act of disobedience, each transgression against our values and beliefs, adds weight to this invisible load. As we accumulate more and more burdens, our hearts become heavy, our spirits weighed down by the consequences of our choices. This metaphorical weight can manifest in various ways in our lives: feelings of guilt, anxiety, a sense of disconnection from our true selves, and even physical ailments. The Quran reminds us, "And whoever is blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter and more astray in way." Quran 17:72. Consider for a moment the weight of a secret regret, a choice made in the shadows that continues to cast a long shadow over your life. It's a burden that can feel almost tangible, pressing down on your shoulders, making each step forward a little bit harder. Perhaps it's a hurtful word spoken in anger, a moment of lost control that you wish you could take back. A betrayal of trust that shattered a precious bond, leaving behind a chasm that seems impossible to bridge. Or a missed opportunity that haunts your thoughts, a path not taken that you can't stop wondering about. These regrets, these lingering echoes of our past actions, can follow us like shadows, always there, always reminding us of what could have been. They can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds, shaping our perception of ourselves and the world around us. The more we dwell on these regrets, the more deeply ingrained they become in the fabric of our being, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and even our physical well-being. The more we dwell on these regrets, the more they seem to define us. Becoming a part of our identity, they become deeply ingrained in the fabric of our being, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and even our physical well-being. We might find ourselves trapped in a cycle of negative self-talk, replaying the past and berating ourselves for our mistakes. This constant state of guilt and remorse can take a toll on our mental and emotional health, leading to feelings of anxiety, depression, and even physical manifestations of stress. It's a cycle that's hard to break, but not impossible. Replaying the past and berating ourselves for our mistakes. This constant state of guilt and remorse can take a toll on our mental and emotional health. This constant state of guilt and remorse can take a toll on our mental and emotional health, leading to feelings of anxiety, depression, and even physical manifestations of stress. It's a cycle that's hard to break, but not impossible, and even physical manifestations of stress. But recognizing the weight of our regrets is the first step towards healing. By acknowledging them, we can begin to understand and eventually let go. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with guilt and regret. Have you ever noticed how these emotions can manifest in your body? A tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or a feeling of heaviness that seems to permeate your entire being? These physical sensations are not merely figments of our imagination. They are tangible evidence of the powerful connection between our minds and bodies. When we experience guilt or shame, our brains release a cascade of hormones that trigger the stress response, leading to a range of physiological changes. But what does science have to say about the impact of these emotions on the very structure of our brains? Emerging research in the field of neuroscience is shedding light on the intricate neural mechanisms underlying guilt and its effects on the brain. Studies have shown that when we experience guilt, a complex interplay of brain regions is activated, including areas involved in emotional processing, decision-making, and self-awareness. One key player in this neural orchestra is the anterior cingulate cortex, a region responsible for detecting errors and monitoring conflicts between our actions and our values. When we act in ways that contradict our moral compass, the anterior cingulate cortex sends out distress signals, triggering feelings of guilt and remorse. This serves as a crucial feedback mechanism, prompting us to reflect on our actions and make amends for our mistakes. The good news is that our brains are not static entities. They possess an extraordinary capacity for change and adaptation, even in the face of guilt and regret. Just as repeated actions can strengthen neural pathways, leading to ingrained habits, the conscious effort to make amends, seek forgiveness, and engage in positive behaviors can actually rewire our brains, mitigating the negative effects of guilt and fostering emotional healing. When we genuinely strive to right our wrongs and live in accordance with our values, we activate neural pathways associated with empathy, compassion, and self-forgiveness, gradually diminishing the grip of guilt on our brains. It's important to distinguish between guilt and remorse. While guilt often traps us in a cycle of self-blame and shame, remorse serves as a catalyst for positive change. Remorse involves a deep sense of regret for our actions, coupled with a genuine desire to make things right. It motivates us to take responsibility for our mistakes, seek forgiveness from those we've wronged, and strive to become better versions of ourselves. This process of acknowledging our shortcomings, making amends, and committing to positive change can have a profound impact on our brains, fostering resilience, self-compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. As we've journeyed through the intricate workings of the human brain and the profound metaphors embedded within Islamic teachings, we've witnessed a remarkable convergence of science and spirituality. While these two realms are often perceived as distinct, even opposing forces in the exploration of sin and its impact on our very being, they reveal a harmonious interplay. Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to adapt and change throughout our lives, mirrors the Islamic concept of the heart as a malleable entity, constantly being shaped by our choices and actions. Just as repeated actions can carve out neural pathways, so too can our deeds leave indelible marks on the scrolls of our hearts, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and future behaviors. The scientific understanding of guilt and remorse as neural processes, activating specific regions of the brain and influencing our emotional well-being, aligns with the Islamic concept of sins as burdens that weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. Both perspectives underscore the profound impact of our choices, not just in the hereafter, but in the here and now, shaping our present experiences and influencing the trajectory of our lives. Yet, within this understanding lies a profound message of hope and empowerment. Just as we have the power to shape our brains through our actions, so too do we possess the capacity to cleanse our hearts, seek forgiveness, and embark on a path of positive change. The journey may be challenging, requiring conscious effort and unwavering commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable: a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a renewed sense of purpose. As we reach the culmination of our exploration, the question we began with takes on a profound new dimension. We've journeyed through the intricate landscapes of the mind and soul, seeking to understand the lasting effects of our actions. Can sins leave marks on our brains? The answer, it seems, is a resounding yes, but not in a way that leaves us irrevocably scarred. Instead, these marks are more like footprints in the sand, visible yet transient, capable of being washed away with time and effort. Rather, our brains, like malleable clay, bear the imprints of our choices, both good and bad, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Each decision we make, each path we choose, leaves a trace, a subtle mark that contributes to the overall tapestry of our lives. Just as a skilled potter can mold clay into vessels of beauty or distortion, so too can we, through conscious effort and divine guidance, shape the landscape of our minds. This process is ongoing, a continuous act of creation and recreation, where every moment offers a new opportunity for transformation. The Islamic metaphors we've explored, though rooted in spiritual understanding, find remarkable resonance in the findings of modern neuroscience. The parallels are striking, suggesting a deep, intrinsic connection between our spiritual practices and our neurological health. The concept of sins leaving marks on our hearts, like blemishes on a once pristine scroll, mirrors the neural pathways etched into our brains through repeated actions. These pathways, while initially rigid, can be reshaped and reformed, much like the scroll can be cleansed and renewed. The weight of transgressions burdening our hearts and hindering our spiritual progress aligns with the physiological impact of guilt and remorse, triggering stress responses and influencing our emotional well-being. Yet, just as we can lighten our physical load, we can also unburden our hearts through repentance, forgiveness, and positive actions, paving the way for spiritual and emotional healing. Yet, even as we acknowledge the enduring impact of our choices, we must never lose sight of the transformative power of repentance, forgiveness, and the pursuit of virtue. Just as the brain possesses the remarkable capacity for neuroplasticity, allowing us to learn, adapt, and rewire our neural pathways, so too does the human heart possess an innate capacity for renewal and purification. This journey of self-improvement is not a solitary endeavor but a collective one, where each act of kindness and each moment of reflection contributes to a larger tapestry of goodness. Let us, therefore, embark on this journey of self-reflection and strive to cultivate lives adorned with righteous deeds. In our daily interactions, we have countless opportunities to choose virtue over vice, to extend a hand of compassion rather than a fist of anger. These choices, though seemingly small, accumulate over time, shaping not only our character but also the world around us. Let us seek forgiveness for our shortcomings, both from those we have wronged and from the one who knows us best. In seeking forgiveness, we acknowledge our imperfections and open the door to personal growth and healing. It is through this process that we learn to forgive ourselves and others, fostering a sense of peace and understanding. Let us make amends where possible and dedicate ourselves to embodying compassion, kindness, and integrity in all our interactions. For in doing so, we not only purify our hearts and minds, but also contribute to a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world. Every act of goodness, no matter how small, sends ripples of positive change throughout our communities. Remember, the path to redemption and self-improvement is an ongoing journey, and every step we take towards righteousness brings us closer to our true potential. This path is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. As we walk this path, let us support one another, offering encouragement and understanding. Together we can create a world where virtue is celebrated and every individual has the opportunity to thrive. Let us be the change we wish to see, embodying the principles of compassion, kindness, and integrity in all our actions. For in doing so, we not only transform ourselves, but also inspire others to join us on this noble journey. Together we can build a more just, compassionate, and harmonious world, one step at a time. Let us remember that every act of virtue, no matter how small, contributes to the greater good. And as we continue on this journey, let us remain steadfast in our commitment to righteousness, knowing that each step brings us closer to realizing our true potential and creating a better world for all.